Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Dr. Tony Chopper, and this is part 3 of the review for the high-grade Universal Century Hyaku Shiki. I probably butchered that name. In this part, we're going to see how all the limbs and accessories and everything else works when it's all interconnected. We're going to take a nice deep look at see how everything works, and hopefully the clay bazooka, the beam rifle, actually stays in the hand and whatnot. Alright, let's get started. Alright, here he is, fully assembled together. This is what he looks like. Not bad, I would say. Now, one thing that you may have noticed, the antenna. I'm not putting this thing on because it keeps on falling out. So, what I recommend if you, well, technically you won't really be painting a gold kit anyways, just stick this on with super glue. Don't even bother having it on without. Now, time for a quick little spin around just so you guys can see what we're working with. Now, the gold actually comes off relatively good. It reflects everything, and it's a natural magnet for fingerprints and whatnot, so you might actually need to use gloves or something to hold this kit. It's not really useful to use your thumbs, especially if you have sweaty thumbs like me, or fingers like me. It's just going to get everywhere and kind of muddle up whatever you got going on there. Now, there's a lot of areas on this kit that I've noticed that has discoloration, inconsistency with the rest of the painting, the plating. You have silver here, silver in there, gold over there. Last time I checked, it was supposed to be a completely gold kit, so it's a very, very disappointing in that sense. And other than that, the kit does have most of the colors it should have, though. So we're going to go over quickly what the articulation is like with the rest of the limbs and everything together, and hopefully it didn't change too much. Alright, let's move him around a bit. So he's not actually on a ball joint, he's on a peg, so he can more or less do 360. You kind of have to force it there. Now, the 360 in terms of the shoulder and arm movement, it kind of hits the back part right here. You might want to be a little bit careful. Try to angle these things out a little bit, but even then, I'm still going to hit them, you know? You're going to be able to move the arm across like this, touching just his chest. There's no extra part that really comes out. You have that little extra bend from the polycap, but no extra plastic part to help you out there. Rest of the arm is the same. And let's see, moving along. Remember, this is a peg right in between. Now, it's so snugly wedged in there with these parts that it actually can't move side to side at all. Zero mobility there, or posability there. Hooray! This part moves up, so in terms of front kicking, you can do that up until this part decides to dislodge itself and go all the way back. Yeah, it's going to stop itself there as well. Now, in terms of going off to the side, I'm almost certain the skirt arm is going to come off, but I'll do it for you anyways. It can go off about that much. And if we move the skirt armor ever so slightly and do it, it's still only going to go out that much. Wonderful, huh? If you were planning to actually pose this guy in any way, shape, or form on the ground, try not to at all, because his ankles actually don't move in a way that they can actually both fit on the ground properly. His feet actually come off the ground quite a bit, even in a pose as basic as this. We can actually put him into a pose like this, and yeah, obviously you're not going to get much posability out of this guy. It is such an old kit. His toes do point pretty well though, so he might actually fare a little bit better when he's on an action base. To switch out his hand to get the trigger finger hands relatively easy, all you gotta do is dislodge this one by pulling it straight out because it is just a peg. Seems like Bandai back in the day didn't like to use ball joints or whatever those crazy things are, so they went with pegs for just about everything. Now let's see how he holds up. Let's say his beam rifle. Bam, here's the beam rifle. Now, it does a decent job of holding it up. Of course, you just put it in like so, and just pray that it rests in there relatively well. Now, there are no weight issues really with this thing. It is so friggin' light. Nothing's gonna happen. Except it's a little awkward when there's actually no real, let's say, trigger. The finger is so far out from where the actual trigger is that it just looks awfully strange. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this. And these skirt armors, man, they're great. Now, getting the clay bazooka into his hands also quite difficult because he can only really hold it in that one position, cradled underneath his armpit and blasting people. Well, because it's such a long design, and also because you don't get very much mobility or anything, or any articulation from the hands, because it's such an old kit. But there are no weight issues because it is so light, so at least we have that covered. So there's also another feature you can do with the bazooka, and right here there's a clip. And guess what? You can mount it on the back right here. All you have to do is shove it in like so, and it holds on pretty sturdily. Beam sabers fit into the hand relatively well because they are incredibly light. Yeah, they don't have any weight issues at all. They just look terrible. Hey, I don't know if that's a very good thing or not, but we're going to try out the polycap hands and see how those do. Well, guess what? This is funny. Hey, this is actually a ball joint. And so you may be wondering, why haven't you put it in yet? Oh yeah, this is just a peg hole. Peg hole, ball joint, meet each other. Not working. These are actually useless, unless you want to shave them down. But then again, not many people actually do care enough to do that. Yeah. Another issue you may be facing, or will face, is that the fist right here, that open fist, the circular fist, whatever, can't actually hold the the beam rifle at all. You can only really choose one weapon because the polycapped manipulators don't actually fit. I guess you could make them fit if you trim them, but even then, like, they do look okay from that side, but there's no gold on that side. Yeah, I don't know if you really want to use those. Just saying. And here is our glorious size comparison, the Hyaku Shiki next to the Psycho Gundam. Now, don't forget, this actually happened in the anime, where this guy fought that guy, and that guy fought that guy. Obviously, a size and weight mismatch. What were you thinking, Char? Katro Binchina, whatever your name is. As you can see, the scale is it is the same scale. That's 1144, that's 1144 as well. And, yeah, he's really tiny compared to that guy. I'd just like to point that out. Alright, that concludes part 3 of the review for the High Green Universal Century Hyaku Shiki. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please drop me a like. Subscribe if you haven't already as well. And be sure to come back in the next part when we give it the final score. You guys can see how this thing actually stacks up compared to modern day high grades. And then you guys can decide for yourselves whether or not you want to pick it up, despite what I want to say about it. My name is Dr. Tony Chopper, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.